After closing this bar, D1 is ready. After D1, we watch a 4. And 4 is ready here. After the standard price had to go and change the trend. In other words, the trend should not change after the retest. The loot was uploaded to the villages here.
TPSproTRADING.
So, Alexander's D1 how to synchronize. How do I find a good entry point? I use D1 a 4 ash 1. Is it possible to trade simply with D1 a 4 without using ash 1? Can I? Of course you can. What, respectively, what is more accurate probability will be. If you need an increased probability, you use more of this frame. If small, then you can. One time frame cannot be used. This is a losing strategy. All strategies that have one time frame are all unprofitable. So, there's only one of us. What should we find first? How should the analysis begin? Where does it start? Alexander. Determining the trend and our place in the trend. Our place in the trend. What should be the place? At the beginning of the trend. Well, what is the beginning of a trend? Yes, the trend has changed. Well, this is the beginning, yes. And our trading place. The beginning is generally a general concept of the beginning of a trend. There is a beginning, a middle, an end. Here we find the situation at the beginning of the trend. What is it? What kind of framework do we have after the trend change? Preferably, there should be a rollback. Not, without mercy, without perhaps, without most likely and probably. Exactly. Up to 2 corrections, and in the main move zone in 1.5. Okay. D1 is allowed. We take D1. We are in this zone, that is, the trend has changed in the villages of double shift, wiring as we say. After the shift. Yes. Are we in this zone? We have one correction only. Let's say we sort it out after the shift. What else do we need? That is, we need levels. The active template. Sasha, it's simple. After we have found a trend, we need a template in this direction, in the direction of the trend. On shift in villages, and we have a retest SLA. The whole zone. Great. After that, the template itself is activated, after which candle. Few people will know. He told me there on YouTube how the test is activated, and so on. That is, after fixing their fee, after closing one white candle that touches this zone, it just enters this zone. After closing the white candles, we activate the retest. Great. Here is the candle that activates the retest. There is already a probability, even on one time frame. What is it? 50% of what will be intact. 50% is in the casino, that's the standard. 50% will be a white chip or a black one. And we have a whole trend, and a pattern as a whole, some kind of probability. 60%. And why 60? 51%, but a little more likely. Well, about 60, around 60%. Great. In order for the probability to increase, what should we do? Confirm this pattern on a lower time frame. That is, roughly speaking, if we use one time frame, I do not advise this. We enter after activating the retest. But we need to at least enter under the level. Well, let's say that we would have had an entry to stop before the last maximum. Here's the entrance, here's the stop. And this is what we have. Let's draw it better with these rectangles. Here is our input as if wrong. Here's our stake, 1 to 2. Right? This is if you use just D1. There's already a 60% chance. Take it away and use it. Yes. Now, in order to increase the probability, we need to confirm this retest pattern with a smaller time frame. In order to confirm, we need to have a trend in the direction of the template on a smaller time frame. And our template is also in this situation. We have no village, so we need to have a pattern of villages on Ash 4. Yes, that is, it is such confirmations that relate to older floodplains. Not as much as 1 and 5, but the older one, because younger ones need a false breakout and a change of trend. For the older ones, we need a trencil and a pattern of villages. Okay, let's say we turn on this thing that we made. I think it will be useless, but it's cool for training. At 4, we turn on the SD1 candles. Here we have if I sat down. Let's say I leave him a red bounty. Fatter. In this one. This is the shoulder, this is the anchorage, this is the shoulder, this is the anchorage. A black candle. After closing this green, we activated the retest. That is, at the opening of a black candle, red or black, what's the difference? What do we have 4 for? On trend buy. Yes. And? Being formed. They are blue in color. We have an RFI buy. We haven't had a retest there yet. The retest was already black for this, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. At the opening of the black candle, we have a buy for trend and a buy. And then there is an retest. That is, a 4 tells us that it's too early to go to D1. Right. Yes. That's right. The black candle closes. We will wait there for the closing, let's say, of the black candle already. What happens on the closing of a black candle, and an open one, and the opening of a green, white one? Brokaw on Phi. Brock F and buy. That is, you need 1. In addition, we have F in buy. OF sat down, or what did I say? We have F in buy. Here it is. RFI buys shoulder and his Brocken. After closing this candle, we have that is, after closing this black candle on an open green one, we have a Brocken on D1. That is, 2 templates are already in villages. The probability is still increasing. As far as I won't say. At this time, at 4, we are in the buy zone, we are on the buy retest. That is, a 4 says it's still too early. That is, we are waiting for 4 more. Another white candle is closing. This one, which also does pair hay. Is that great? Great? When this white candle is with us. When this white candle is modeling back and forth, we have our own on a 4, let's say pass on 4. There is a Firefly village, which has a pattern of Brocken. Is it visible? It can be seen. And then there is a difficult breakdown of this maximum. What did I say? If there is a break-in and a false arrival of the maximum, plus then, as we see with the change of another trend, does this mean? This means a U-turn. Full U-turn. That is, in principle, after the closing of this black candle, already, that is, after a proper breakout. We know that this is likely to be a reversal. Confirm the reversal of the trend change. Then, at the opening of the market, the trend changes by 4 in villages. We have our own template appearing. We have this roof buy, which is thrown. The template is broken, the trend has sat down. That is, 4-4. After closing this bar, which changes the trend. There is also a template, and the trend has already changed. Yes, that is, what we were waiting for a 4, when it will change the trend and pattern in order to increase the probability. That is, here is a specific place on 4 where it converges. Where D1 was already ready after the closing of this white bar. This one. After closing this bar, D1 is ready. After D1, we watch a 4. And 4 is ready here. We have a minimum of this broker, accordingly, according to the rules, we are waiting for a rollback to this minimum. And, that is, we have a roughly 70-75% probability already. That is, we are calm. If with D1 we could enter the village here, then now we can enter with 4 already. How much has the stop shrunk? We'll find out now. That is, here we are right according to the rules, roughly speaking. If we do not use Ash1, we can go right under the minimum touch. That is, stop. Here is the last maximum. 79 points, 80 points, and if we went in with 1, we would have 150. How much has the stop shrunk? Twice. Almost. Well, yes. Great. We are satisfied with this. That is, 100% big, and the probability is not yet what we wanted. We are working on a strategy of 80-85%. Then we need to connect another one. That is, when D is alone. Ash1, yes. D1 converged here, and 4 converged here, and now, according to our trading strategy rules, we are under this minimum. Not a fig in sight. Oh, the red ones. We are either here or here is our 1 looking for your trading template. Right? Yes. Yes. We can turn on the Kendall shackle with a 4. Yes, it's a little unclear, but... Or without. Let's go without. Well, here we have the last still active template with a 4. That is, here is this broken, E5 by broken, and its minimum, here on Ash1. How does it show up? That is, we need in this area when the logia appeared. If the logia had appeared here, there would have been other solutions. By the way, we talked about this in the last video. Yes, that is, we have a logia. What's left for us to find? Sat down, and the template sat down. We already had a quad, a strong one. And it remains for us to find our template in villages. What kind of template was there? Under the minimum, yes, if there was a false break, and then. That is, after closing 5 of our candles at 6 in the morning, we had the and sat down. And the retest of the village was activated. We have already sat down, that is, what is the probability already, if there is an activation of our 1? That is, D1 or 2 templates sat down, as many as 4. Our stop has shrunk, and well, there are in principle, also 2 templates in general. Well, let's say we take just this one broken. And now Ash1 has activated. The retest sat down, and the trend sat down. That is, for Ash1, what conditions do we need for the test for M5? False penetration. Well, roughly speaking, false penetration and more. We also need a condition that is not spoken out loud. What kind of stop will it be already if Ash and I go in alone? We will have the same maximum as 4-4. And let's assume a take there. Here. We are satisfied with such a stop, the same as with 4. Of course not. We are not satisfied. We have reads. We have 2 levels of this retest. We confirm this pattern according to M5, according to our rules, and let's assume that today we will be without at 5. And then we have another pattern going on. This is a broker buy. On the same level with the Russian Federation SAT, we have a new bike here, which rushes. Accordingly, its minimum is here. Well, at least in principle, it is not necessary. And here it is on the closing of this bar, which activates the retest template. Oh my God! At the close of this bar, which activates the Russian Federation and buy. What do we need to cut? Stop. Confirm it all on M5. 4-5. Confirm everything on M5. Let's say without switching. What was on the M5 at that moment? Change of trend. Change of trend. Now we have a stop here with an asset with a seam, respectively. We have a stop already like this. Because for our maximum on M5, and take it is clear there. That is, how much? Stop 34 points already. That is, our initial stop was 150 points, but it became 30. On M5, you need to confirm the entry point according to your rules. It is not confirmed according to the basic rules. That's just been and here. What questions? There are no questions. In other words, this is basically a video in order to understand why timeframes are needed. Why is a multi-time frame needed? That if we use one time frame, we will have a very small percentage of profitable trades. There, if you achieve 60%, it will be wow. No one trades stably on one time frame. It's like this, it's a casino game. You understand why. Firstly, the stop is large, and secondly, the probability is small, and several timeframes are muddied in order to shorten the stop and increase the probability. This is the most important message of this video in principle. Shorten the stop, increase the probability. Because we can only influence two things. This is the probability ratio of the risk of profit. That is, we have levels, and we can set stop and take from these levels. That's it. We can't do anything else in the market, manage anything. And thanks to the combination of time frames, we increased our probability and reduced our stop to a minimum. Yes, there is an 85 probability in this deal, somewhere 80 roughly 90% in our direction.